It's 8 o'clock. Welcome to the Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kai Loko.
And I am Umaru Sanda Amadou.
Coming up, an easy calm in Kumasi as IGP and senior government officials and Zongo elders meet over the shooting of 7 persons alleged to be robbers.
We have that story coming up. Also, public outrage over video that shows a police officer on duty at a savings and loans company assaulting a female customer. We'll bring you a response from the Interior Ministry.
Also coming up, Kolebu gets brand new accident and emergency unit as government continues its plan to alleviate congestion at the nation's top hospital.
And government's upcoming fish ban continues to draw anger from fisherfolk as they hint at demonstrating on Monday.
To our very first story. And the police administration says it is investigating the assault of a nursing mother by one of its officers at a branch of the Midland Savings and Loans Company.
In the video, the police officer, now identified as Frederick Amano Scala, has a gun strapped to his shoulder and is seen continuously punching the unidentified woman. Viewers are advised that the following video might be disturbing for some people.
Sanda, very disturbing video, isn't it?
Very nasty and disturbing there. It is a very sad situation, and it is good that the police say they are investigating, same, because we have a statement from them.
Yes, we are. What are they saying?
Well, they say they have identified the person and he has actually, action has been taken against him. So let me just quickly bring viewers to the attention of that statement. It says, police administration identifies officer seen in a video assaulting a woman. And it says the attention of the police administration has been drawn to a video circulating on social media showing a police officer assaulting a woman carrying a baby. The statement proceeds to say the administration has identified the policeman as number 5260 Lance Corporal Goji Frederick Amano, popularly known among his colleagues as Scala, the name that we brought you earlier, and he is stationed at Accra Regional Police Operations Unit. Further, the statement says the administration has already commenced investigation into his conduct. In addition, the Inspector General of Police has directed the officer's immediate arrest for criminal processes to begin, Vivian. So they have arrested, or rather are declared for him to be arrested by the IGP. And in conclusion, the statement says the administration condemns the behavior of the officer as being contrary to professionalism and tenets of the ongoing police transformation program. It proceeds to say, following this conduct, the police administration has issued a stern warning to all police officers, reminding them to desist from any such human rights abuses and misconduct. The police administration assures the public that the outcome of investigation into the officers' conduct shall be published. So this is a statement issued and signed by Sheila Kessie Abe Bachman, the Deputy Superintendent of Police, in charge of the Directorate of Public Affairs.
Right. Now, Sanda, earlier you spoke to the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, who also condemned the action of the police officer, describing it as horrifying. Let's have a listen to what he said.
has been sent to me. I'm horrified by it. I've called the IGP and directed him to take immediate action on the matter and get back to me, because such behavior is unacceptable. A peace officer cannot handle a woman so ruthlessly, and I consider what I've seen on the video to be excessive force. So I've called the IGP who is in Kumasi, and I've asked him to get back to me immediately, and that action should be taken against the policeman. What I've seen, we would have to take disciplinary action against the police man. I don't see anything on the video that is sufficient provocation for him to react that way to an armed woman who has a baby. So this measure has been taken, and if nothing else extraordinary is found, he should be dismissed. He doesn't qualify to wear.
So we'll still stay with the story, and the lady in question has been speaking about her ordeal. One of my colleagues has been monitoring this situation, and you've also listened to what the lady has been saying about her ordeal. Farida Shaibu is with the newsroom. She'll give us details of what the lady's account is of this developing and disturbing story. Farida Shaibu, welcome to the Citi newsroom.
Thank you, Vivian.
So what is she saying? What really happened from her side?
So the lady in question is called Patience, and this happened at the Shiashi branch of the bank. And according to her, this is the head office of the Midland Savings and Loans, and she sells at Spana Junction. And she sells toffees and then tissue, which most people buy. And then she, according to her, she took her money. That is where she saves. So the bank owes her, or the Savings and Loans Company owes her about 270 Ghana cedis. And since last week Friday, she's been going to and fro to the bank demanding her money. But anytime she goes, they tell her to come back the next day. So what happened yesterday was that she went there from 7:30 a.m. together with other customers, and according to her, everybody was served. But when it got to her turn, they told her again to go back and come back tomorrow.
What time were the customers served? What time did she get there?
She got there around 7:30 when the bank hadn't even opened. And she sat there till 5 p.m. according to her. So she said she was left with another lady, and then they were told to go and return tomorrow. But she told them she had nothing at all to give to her baby. That baby in the video is 2 months, 2 months, 3 weeks old. So that was the baby she was carrying, and according to her, the baby had nothing to eat at all. So before she came to the bank, she even had no transportation, because that is where she saved, and she thought that these people would help her. So she asked that she be given like 25 cedis so that she can at least buy food for herself and the child as well. But the bank would have none of that until the policeman came in to tell her that they had closed, so she should just go home and come back tomorrow. And there was later on, there was a video circulating about how the thing happened, and you could hear her saying that today I would not leave, I would have to take my money. And all the staff were around, and according to her, when she was even being assaulted, they were watching her, telling her, well, we told you so, you should have gone home. So that is her story.
Okay, so there's another video, that's the aftermath of the incident with some of the workers of the Savings and Loans Company speaking to her. Let's have a watch of that video. We'll bring you that video. So, Farida, where is this lady now in question? Is she seeking medical attention? Is she with the police? Or where is the lady now?
So, this lady has 3 kids, and she describes herself as somebody who is very poor, and she has nothing at all to depend on. So this is something that she sells. In the interview with Peace FM, she didn't say where she lived, but she also said that at the moment she obviously doesn't even feel better, as well as the child. So, but obviously she doesn't even have any money to take the child to the hospital and also take care of herself. So she's just home.
Right. Thank you very much, Farida Shaibu, bringing us up to date with this developing story. Now, earlier, the management of Midland Savings and Loans condemned the assault of the nursing mother by a special police officer on guard duty at one of its branches. Now, Midland, in a statement, said the necessary action will be taken to ensure that the victim gets justice. The statement said, quote, "We wish to render an unqualified apology to the customer in question and the general public for the uncivilized act." Now, the statement further said, quote, "We have reported the matter to the police for the necessary action to be taken to ensure our client gets justice. We want to assure the public that we are in an institution that really cares about the welfare and safety of our customers. Still staying with our story, the Association of Savings and Loans Companies has also condemned the police officer involved in the act. Describing the incident as an abuse, the executive director of the Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Chinebu Akodia, condemned the police officer for overreacting and called for appropriate sanctions against him.
I have seen the video. And to be honest with you, the association and the leadership of the association is very, very upset and very, very annoyed of the incident. And we've taken all the necessary actions at the moment. As we speak with you, we've got in contact with the management of the company, and unknowingly, they were not in the known until this thing came to the media. And so they have taken certain steps which we are following up to ensure that we get to the root of the issue. This is not part of the whole sector. We have never seen such a thing. And we abhor all these things. And so we want to get to the bottom of the issue, why the policeman did that. Because it's beyond that. To be honest with you, we are very, very, very upset about the incident. You see, as I told you, they were never in the known until we brought this issue to them. And we have asked for a written explanation to the Secretariat, the association, which we are also working with Bank of Ghana on it, because this is never part of the whole sector. And so we are waiting for them to get us a written response to all the issues.
Sandra, I can't get over this video. I mean, a nursing mother with a child, and see how this police officer goes on and on, hitting her, trying to use a rifle to hit her. It's just unthinkable.
The saddest part is that even after what we saw outside, when the lady was calmed and she was sitting on the floor, this policeman still attempted to hit her. And they had to take people to restrain him. And this was a gun-wielding policeman. Indeed, the people kept asking the woman why she had to confront the police officer. But, you know, these are very interesting issues. And for me, looking at them, there are questions that the company itself has to ask.
Exactly.
There was a staff of the company who was filming. Now, this staff of the company, we are not sure whether it was a manager or someone at a low level. But why did they not go to help? That's one. Two, where were the managers of the company at the time when this was happening? There was a gentleman in the footage, and I'm suspecting he works with this company. He was not restraining the police officer who works with, who rather was instructed by this company to come and work. Is it the case that the managers, you know, endorsed what was happening?
Well, we're told that the workers of the company actually instructed the policeman in question to get rid of the lady.
And so that is how come he would use that brute force.
And then that brings to questions of whether this is the norm. So if you're facing liquidity challenges, like we are being circulating around, or we are being told, if I come to take my money, which is due me, the best way to tell me the money is not ready is to attack me or assault me. Is this the norm there?
Vivian, you see, the central bank is in charge of these institutions, right? They should actually go check the finances of Midland.
That's right.
Whether or not they have liquidity to continue to run. Because I do not understand why a woman who wants 250 cedis would be manhandled. And she said in the video, and if you listen to what Farida narrated, she said, today I would not go without my money.
Yes.
Which means she came
has
yesterday
been going there
and she
for
wasn't
a while.
giving the money. Now, what does that mean to the financial standing of this company? Do they have, you know, the necessary liquidity to continue to operate as a savings and loans company?
But even if you're having challenges with your funds, dispersing your funds to your clients, this is not the right way to go about it.
Mind you, at the Citi business desk, we've been hearing stories about liquidity issues in the last week or so. Although a lot of the information was not confirmed, but this looks like a confirmation of what we're afraid of. Another point for me, Vivian, The company in their statement said they have reported the case to the police. When did they do this? The gentleman, the police officer, didn't look like the management was not happy with him.
No.
When did they report the case to the police? Did they tell the police, we do not want to work with this gentleman anymore?
I'm sure they reported it after the public uproar.
Exactly. On Eyewitness News on Citi this evening, I spoke to the Director of Police Public Affairs, and he said, as far as he was aware or concerned, the company had not filed any complaint with the administration.
So if anything is to go by about the authenticity of that statement, they lied.
Then it means they told an untruth.
Wow. So on the hang in there, let's replay this incident, what actually happened. Very disturbing footage there.
Vivian, if you look at the crest of the Ghana Police Service, it says service with integrity. What that man was doing there wasn't integrity.
Not at all.
And I dare say that man shouldn't continue to wear the proud uniform of the Ghana Police Service.
No.
It is a sad situation.
No. There's another video. Let's watch the second video. It's not an amateur video, but I think it brings to light what the issue
gives us a perspective. Yes. So after she was thrown out of the hall, which we saw earlier was someone holding the baby, now she goes to lie outside, and this policeman was still threatening. This policeman was behaving like a street fighter. He wasn't behaving like a policeman in uniform.
And the workers are endorsing this because you can hear somebody saying, yes, like to say you deserve this beating because you were told to leave and you decided to
They were taking the baby so the policeman would manhandle her.
That's unbelievable.
Talks about unprofessionalism. And this is a company that issued a statement and said to us that it values its customers.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm wondering which of the customers it values. Because if you valued your customers and you saw this happening to them and you looked the other way, and if this happened yesterday like we've been told, it's 24 hours. If this video hadn't gone viral, this company wouldn't have done anything about it.
At all.
And it speaks about the institutions that we deal with, customer service relations and so on. It's pathetic, to say the least, Vivian.
And we have to ensure that those who are behind this pay for it.
It must be done, and I'm happy that the Minister for the Interior is very angry, and he says that this man should not continue to be in uniform if there is no concrete evidence to prove otherwise beyond what we see in the video. He should be removed. He should be removed from the service outright. And he should actually be sued because what he has done, assault, I believe the lawyers would have something on the books that can be used. And she should get a lawyer. The private lawyers or the pro bono lawyers or all the public interest lawyers who are watching us tonight, this is a challenge to you. You need to, take up this matter voluntarily because someone who was fighting for 250 cedis clearly cannot pay you for your service, but you would be, engaging in service to the nation, Vivian.
Right. Let's move on.
Let's go to the Ashanti region. And again, issues of Ghana Police Service. One person has been shot close to the Kumasi Central Mosque in Asawasi as angry residents mass up to prevent police officers from patrolling the area. Some family members who lost their relatives in a shootout were supposed to hold a press conference after the Juma prayers by Muslims on Friday this afternoon. But upon seeing the police patrol vehicle, the residents started pelting them with stones and blocked the road with tables and chairs. There is more in this report by Ashanti Regional Correspondent Loretta Tima.
The Inspector General of Police, the Minister for Information, the Minister for Zongo Development, and the Ashanti Regional Minister earlier today paid a courtesy call on the Asante Hini Otumfuo Setu II, who called for an independent investigation into the shooting of the 7. Subsequently, the Information and Zongo ministers headed to the Kumasi Central Mosque to meet with the agitating community members. But that meeting was cut short when the crowd spotted 2 police vehicles driving to the mosque. They started throwing stones at them, forcing the officers to turn away. Reinforcement was called, and an armored vehicle with a policeman shooting directly towards the people arrived at the scene. In the chaos, 2 men sustained gunshot wounds from stray bullets and were rushed to the Mensha Government Hospital for treatment. The IGP's entourage arrived later amidst the downpour, but the rampaging youth threw stones at the convoy, preventing them from entering the mosque premises. Salim Yusha, one of the leaders of the youth, spoke to Citi Newsroom.
We see that he was clearly inconsistent. The report that he gave initially, he said in his statement, and I quote, they were hardened criminals. And then later, at the end of it, he said they are yet to substantiate and to identify for which is which here. You can see that clearly the police chief, with all due respect in regard to you, you have booked. You are not being guided by your constitutionality. And I want to send you a message. I want to ask you, please, Mr. Chief, how come you didn't establish anything before you come in to tell us that they are indeed criminals? If you are here to establish their identity, how can you just call them criminals? And I'm asking you, if indeed they are criminals, as you said, please bring us a criminal report. I want to believe the police administration has a criminal records department. Please, we want to know. And it's on record that you said they've been going around shooting people. I can tell you on record, the ammunition that you came and placed there, you went it and collected it from your army. We have that information from us. You went and displayed it because we are human. Let's use our intellect. Now the ammunition that you came and put over there, they are highly sophisticated weapons. I have never seen a gun. I have never touched a gun. But on a high side, if you are saying that they've exchanged shootouts with your people, how come they couldn't cause damage to your vehicle? How come they couldn't endanger any of your men? What are you telling us? You've taken Ghanaians for granted. There is not any there is not any blood in their car. You've killed them recklessly without due regard to the law and order of this country.
Military has since been dispatched to the area to ensure sanity.
That was Loretta Tima's report from the Ashanti region, and she's joining us on the line. You're welcome to the CNR on Citi TV. Loretta, so have tensions been calmed now?
Yes, actually everything's calm now. As you heard in the report, military and policemen have been deployed to the area, and they are ensuring that everything gets better. And so currently everything is under control.
All right, so take us back. The IGP and who else attempted to penetrate this community before they were, stopped by the youth?
So today we had information that the IGP, the Minister for Information, and the Minister for Zongo Development, as well as the Regional Minister, were supposed to meet the elders of the Zongo community. So when they arrived, they earlier paid a courtesy call on the Asante Hini. And so after the courtesy call on Asante Hini, when the Abia Muslims were praying, offering their Juma prayers, the Minister for Information and the Zongo Development Minister joined them, and then the elders and in the Zongo community actually held a closed-door meeting with them. And so during the meeting, that was when 2 police van vehicles were spotted. The crowd just went, everything just went bad. The crowd, just when they spotted the police vehicles, they started pelting stones at them. And this was so bad that the police had to turn the advance and then they just ran away. We thought that that was going to be the end of it when reinforcement was called, and then an armored vehicle for the police actually came. So when the armored vehicle got there, that was when all the youth, they all started running away because the guy sitting on top of the vehicle was shooting. We thought that he was going to shoot in the air, but he was shooting directly directly at the people who were running, and so everybody had to run to save his or her life. So basically, that is what happened today. 2 people were shot, and then they were sent to the Menchia Government Hospital, but then they have been treated and then discharged.
Loretta, we also know that the Menchia Palace was involved somewhat in solving this problem. What do we know?
Okay, so when they paid the courtesy call on the Asante, he called for an independent and a professional body for investigation, and then he was saying that everyone who is involved should be pointed out without fear or favor, without anything. And so he is saying that the investigation will actually bring justice and peace, like everyone is asking for. And so he asked the IGP to make sure and ensure that a professional body and an independent body launches investigation into the killing of the 7.
Earlier, we also had reports that the military were called in. Were they the ones who finally, managed to calm tensions?
Can you come again, Sanda?
The military involvement, what can you tell us about the military involvement this afternoon in Kumasi?
Okay. Actually, the closed-door meeting between the information minister and the development minister with the elders, it was actually a closed-door meeting, and so we didn't really get much from them. But we were actually hoping that once the IGP and then the ministers are in town, everything would be cool, only to get the policemen coming around and then they use pelting stones at them. And so I would say that they just came for absolutely nothing. Though in the closed-door meeting, we understand that the youth gave out their petitions, and the Zongo chief also told the ministers their petition. They told them what exactly was wrong with them and what exactly they were calling for. So we don't really know. Probably the ministers will inform the IGP about the things that went on in the closed-door meeting, and then we hope that something good comes out from there.
So Loretta, today is the second day of this protest by the youth. Do we know from the youth whether or not they will continue tomorrow on a third day of protest, or today would be the final day?
Well, it is not so sure that tomorrow they would continue. But yesterday when we came here, the president for the Zongo youth said that next week they will be staging a proper demonstration. Actually, today they were all calm and they were all quiet when the Juma prayers were being offered. And we all thought that the issue had died off. The issue, though, they were still calling, they were protesting when the body of Halidu, the gentleman who was shot about a month ago, was being carried away for burial. We actually thought that the whole issue had died off.
Very well.
Until the policemen came and then the whole thing erupted again.
Thank you very much for your time. Loretta Tima is our correspondent in the Ashanti region. Do keep your eye on that particular developing story and share with us details as and when they emerge. Meanwhile, the Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, has been speaking to Citi News on this rather sad developing story.
In that situation, we need to investigate it. The death of any person, regardless of what the person has done, is regrettable. However, in that situation, the police seem to have a different version of what transpired from what we get in the airwaves. In the first place, the 7 people don't come from one place. I'm told some of them come from Asawas and some of them come from another place. The regional minister is taking the right step. There will be a committee that will look at it. Let me make it clear that it is not the policy of the police to shoot and kill anybody on site. No, they have standard operating procedures. However, if there is an exchange of fire in circumstances that permit the police to defend themselves up to causing harm fatally, all those will have to be examined. But whatever it is, the ideal situation is for us to get suspects to go to court, and then a court of competent jurisdiction should sentence them. So So as far as Asawasi is concerned, we are all agreed that there should be an investigation, and the police should be given an opportunity to prove to us that it was an exchange of fire, and if at the end of the day, any of them is found culpable, the person will be dealt with according to the law. I'm not aware that police have killed 20 innocent people. If that evidence is available, let it come, and we'll deal with it. Nevertheless, we have had situations where the police have been killed, and we can also count them. Let it not be said that in all cases that is exchange of fire, it has been a fabricated story. And we are open to the provision of any evidence to show that one person was killed innocently. It shall be done with. Whether investigation is put up by the chairman of the respect, is the regional minister of Ashanti. He is the head of the city at that level. And let nobody think that anybody is going to cover anything up. I do not believe, even until it's otherwise proved, that the Ghana police would kill people and go to the warehouse and get guns to come.
So let's go to the Ashanti region now. The man who sits on top of security in that region is the man who is the regional minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, heads the Regional Security Council. You're welcome to Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, sir. Is it the case that you have lost absolute control of the security situation in your region?
It's quite interesting for somebody to see that we lost control over the security situation in the Ashanti region. I don't know the business of both. Unless I'm told why somebody is saying that. If you have a reason, let me know so that I can comment on it.
Well, I'm referring to what is happening at Asawasi, where the man on top of Ghana Police Service was chased away by an armed youth. That clearly doesn't suggest that security or the security forces are under or controlling what is happening in Asawasi.
No, that is a total misconception that we achieve our. Yes, we are raised to be some elders of the Muslim community and some of the chiefs, so that we discuss some issues that are relevant to the security situation in the region, and also the problem that we are having at hand. Today they were worshiping, so we had two of our colleagues, the Honorable Minister for Information and Honorable Minister for Inner City and Zongo Development, who joined them to worship. We were going to join them after the worship. When we got to the area, we realized that they were burning ties, we blocked some of the roads, and the situation was such that we insisted we were going to go through. To have meant maybe the police will have opened arms and everything at all could have happened. So just imagine the head of the regional minister, who is the head of the Regional Security Council, and then in the presence of the IGP, and then maybe the police will open arms to the stairs of the people and maybe a bullet or something kill somebody. They will have said that even the regional minister and the IGP have instructed the police to kill people. So I spoke to the IGP and said, in the interest of peace, and in order not to have more deaths, let's go back and leave them and then invite the people we wanted to talk to the room and talk to them. So we returned so that we don't have more casualties. If we wanted to apply whatever falls, whether minimum or whatever, we could have done that. It wouldn't have helped the nation. It would have helped the country. It would have helped the people themselves. That is why I said we should go back. So it's not that we've lost the control over the security situation. Anybody who sees that doesn't know what the person is talking about.
Okay. So, Honorable Minister, Asawasi seems to be recurring in the news. What seems to be the problem with that particular community in your region? Have you identified anything?
I don't want to say that every community has a problem or whatever. Sometimes it happens that within a certain period of time, you can have problems of reoccurring in a particular area. I don't want to take it believe that maybe that is the attitude or the behavior of the people. It's just coincidental that maybe this has happened. Let's look at the problem. Now the people are saying those people who have been killed are not armed robbers or thieves. The Citi Council decided to form an independent committee of inquiry into the issue. Fortunately for us, the Vice President also has decided to form a committee. So while the Vice President is a higher body authority, we now left it in the hands of the Vice President, and then he will consult it if need be, and an independent committee will be formed to investigate into the issue. I don't want to get into the substantive issue. I don't want a situation whereby we create an impression that a certain ethnic group, a certain group of people, they are violent. I don't want it. Let's look at the issue objectively and solve it effectively. But
is that impression at all, though, that a certain group of people are violent? Do you get that impression around?
No, I don't. In every society, something can happen once in a while. I think if you are married, I think there are situations you have problems with your wife. That doesn't mean that you are violent, or maybe if your wife goes out the problem, the wife is violent. In human society, once in a while, you will definitely have these problems. What I normally say, in human society, there can never be development if there are no problems. Problems lead to development. The moment you have a problem, and if the problem is properly diagnosed, and then proper solutions, optimum solutions, or best solutions are found to those problems, definitely then you lead to development. Now we are speaking, you are talking to me. And some years back when I was young, there was no way we could have spoken the way we are speaking now. We had to move to the post office, go and book an appointment, and then say that I want to talk to Mr. E or Madam B, and then they will give you, come around 4 p.m. or 2 p.m., and then they will call and you talk.
Okay.
Now it's not like that. Because there were people who identified that there was a problem.
Honorable, quickly, so you had a meeting this evening, and the intent was to set up a committee, because the Minister for the Interior said you were setting up a committee. Is it my understanding that you are no more setting up this committee and that you are leaving it to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
No, we are setting up the committee that we are doing in consultation with the Vice President.
Okay, and how soon should we expect this committee?
Oh, I'm sure by Monday, latest, we will have come out with a list. At least, or so far, we have identified the institutional composition of whatever committee that we are going to form. So what we need to do now is identification of specific people.
So what institutions will be having reps on this committee?
Yes?
What institutions that we have identified would be having reps on this committee?
What we are looking at is the credit from the Muslim community and the credit from the Christian community. And we are also looking at somebody from the judiciary, possibly a judge above high court. And then we are looking at somebody with investigative and intelligence knowledge. And then maybe somebody who will be a secretary.
All right.
These are the things. We don't want it to go beyond 5-member committee, maximum 5-member committee, so that we can deliberate quickly and then have this issue resolved.
Very well.
Very
well. Thank you so much for your time. The Honorable Simon Osei-Mensah is the Ashanti Regional Security Council Chair and also Ashanti Regional Minister. Still on this story, the minority spokesperson on Defense and Interior, James Agaga, is calling for an independent probe into the shootings. The former Deputy Interior Minister says it would take more than just a police probe to unravel the mystery behind the killings.
I think that the directive of the Speaker is important. The committee may be well placed because we would tackle the matter from the point of view of Parliament, which has oversight over the police service, which is part of the executive. So for me, that is my thinking. It could also be a committee set up which is made up of not necessarily parliamentarians, but people who are experienced in policing-related issues, and of course, citizens who are well versed in security issues. The committee could be composed of such persons as well. In the absence of that, I think that the Parliament should exercise its oversight by investigating the matter. These are matters which needs to be investigated. Remember that the police said they came under fire. I mean, if we send ballistic experts to the crime scene, I mean, the 7 deceased were supposed to be in a Toyota saloon car. I think when they study the gunshots on the car, ballistic experts would be able to tell us whether indeed there were exchanges or the police used brute force to terminate the lives of the 7.
Still on that story, and Citi Newsroom's check reveals that over the past 1 year, at least 19 civilians have died in police-involved shootings. In most of the cases, police have claimed the persons were killed in a shootout. The following report, Citi Newsroom catalogues some of the killings and raises questions about police professionalism.
Over the 8-month period under review, trigger-happy police officers shot and killed 19 innocent Ghanaians. 8 of the incidents were recorded in 2018 alone. In 2 of the cases, the victims were not even described as suspects by police but were killed anyway. Just this week, police opened fire on persons they claim were suspected robbers. In what police claim was an exchange of fire, 7 young men were killed when the dust finally settled. The police shootings were an apparent revenge on the killing of one of their own at Ayurebi Krom near Manson Kwanta on July 11. The Ashanti Regional Police Commander is DCOP Akwesi Mensah Doku.
So on 17, that was yesterday, upon the receipt of the information, the police was put on the alert and deployed patrols to the area between Aminam Kwanta and Manson Kwanta. The police signaled them to stop, but they ignored the signal and started firing at the police.
But family members would have none of the story. Ahmed Salimi Yusa, a cousin to one of the deceased, says the police story was cooked up to conceal their wicked actions.
The display of armory that they did, the ammunition, I can tell you on authority that they went to their armory and took these ammunition and came and displayed them. For our record, we have it on record that our people are not armed, our brothers are not armed, they were not criminals. In fact, they don't have anything to do with criminality. It's a record.
The killings drew public outrage as hundreds of community members poured out on the streets of the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, to protest the killings. For family members, this is yet another of the many unauthorized police killings.
Reports reaching us that they were shot at their back. How can you shoot somebody at the back? How can you? That should tell you how serious the issue is. We are humbly on our knees calling the attention of His Excellency the President, the Chief of Staff, the Minister for Interior. They should please come to our aid and take justice for our people.
On March 13, police in the Ashanti region shot and killed a suspected armed robber who jumped bail in a narcotics case that was pending at the Nkawie Circuit Court. On April 15, police shot and killed 28-year-old Emmanuel Amofa at Agbogba in Accra. Emmanuel's only crime, according to family sources, was because he hung out with friends at a pub before a police patrol team swooped on them and gunned him down. And on May 2, in neighboring Kwabenya, police opened fire on Yao Sapong, killing him instantly for alleged attempted robbery. A clash between police and youth of the Upper West regional town of Tumu resulted in the killing of 2 young men on May 18. On March 12, some officers from the Accra Regional Police Command gunned down 2 suspected armed robbers in their hideout for allegedly robbing a fuel station at Hachu. In December 2017, Detective Corporal Ejay Shaibu of the police service shot and killed 17-year-old Master Lawrence Beidu, a student of the Ghana Secondary Technical School after supposedly mistaking him for an armed robber. But while the number of deaths of innocent lives continues to soar, there are demands for immediate action to arrest the killing of persons who have not been convicted by a court. The Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative holds the view that the stories don't add up. Mina Mensah is with the organization.
And when you look at their police service instruction, I think it's 973 or so, they have processes and procedures that they use. How come all 7 of the supposedly robbers were killed? Number one. Number two, there's been several instances, including in 2013, I think, when the police branded their own as robbers and killed them. And the story that came out first was that the police have shot robbers. So for me, I think that there are a lot of questions to be answered.
A defensive Ghana Police Service which believes the citizenry are fast losing trust in it now says it wants an independent inquiry into the incidents. ACP David Eklu is Director General in charge of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service headquarters.
Very important that we get a body outside the police service to look at all the circumstances, what went wrong, what went right, and we see the way forward. That is the stance of the police administration now. It calls for thorough reflection over the incident, a dispassionate discussion of the incident, and then see how this issue can be resolved.
Away from that story, but still on security, and 14 out of the 46 police personnel who were repatriated from South Sudan for alleged sexual misconduct have been interdicted by the Ghana Police Service with immediate effect. A police internal communication cited by Citi Newsroom has directed that the residences of these interdicted officers be searched and all weapons, uniforms and other police accoutrements retrieved. Here's Citi Newsroom's Anas Seidu with more.
Alleged sexual exploitation and abuse in South Sudan. The undermentioned personnel are interdicted with immediate effect. Henry Ajman, Sergeant Richard Buahina, Sergeant Paul Akin, Sergeant Isaac Hagan, Corporal De Graaf Osenyan Techi, Corporal Daniel Homi, Corporal Kennedy Eje, Corporal Imoro Danzuma, Corporal Isaac Frimpong, Lance Corporal Bismarck Eiram, Lance Corporal Douglas Ofori, Lance Corporal David Esenu, Lance Corporal Ibrahim Isaac Musa, Lance Corporal Kingsley Eche. Commanders are to ensure all weapons, uniforms, and other police accoutrements are retrieved from the defaulting personnel for safe custody. Their rooms, quarters should be searched for any other police property they may have in their possession.
So let's still stay with that story, and my colleague Anas Seidu has joined me here to give us details of that story. Anas, how did we get here? How did this story evolve to this point?
All right, Vivian, in February this year, we had news that some police officers who were in South Sudan for peacekeeping mission were involved in some alleged sexual issues. There was news items, several reports about it. The police service in Ghana issued a statement, and they indicated that they were going to cooperate with their colleagues in the UN to investigate and actually get to the bottom of this particular case. Few months later, the Ghana Police Service indicated that they were done with their internal investigations and they were waiting for UN to submit their own. And few weeks after that, there was a statement from the police indicating that these particular people were actually sent back to the country. This is actually what happened. They were protecting civilians in Wau, in South Sudan. Okay. And when the incident happened, they were recalled from Wau to Juba, that's the capital of the country, where the investigations took place. When the UN established that actually they did something wrong, they were brought back home. And the police service issued a statement indicating that they were going to reintegrate them into the Ghana Police Service, the 46. But in the back of that, when I asked COP Fibuachi a question on this, he told me that they are still investigating them while they work with the Ghana Police Service. The latest on this is that they've indicated that 14 out of the 46 are actually interdicted. And they've directed the commanders under whom these people are working to search their residence, to retrieve all property of the Ghana Police Service in their custody from them.
What happens to the rest? What's with those
My checks within the police service indicate that this particular group of people, about 30, two of them are still under investigation. They are investigating them, and subsequently in the near future they will come out with another statement indicating what will happen to them, whether they will be exonerated or they will actually be interdicted as well. But Vivian, one thing is key. As we speak now, there are about 1,800 police personnel drawn from across the country. They are currently being trained, and they are doing pre-testing to get them to Somalia for peacekeeping, similar mission. So I think if the AU and UN think that they can't perform, or this particular alleged sexual misconduct is something that's the Ghana Police Service are doing or will do in the next peacekeeping mission, then I think at the end of the day, the 136 that will be expected to go to Somalia may not go.
Right, and I say to thank you very much for bringing us up to speed on that development. You're so watching the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kai Eloko. When we return, government's upcoming fish ban continues to draw anger from fisher folk as they hint on demonstrating on Monday. Don't go away.
For regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on Citi TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on Citi TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
You're welcome back. Now, the fight against the government's directive on the ban for all fishing activities next month won't end anytime soon, as fisherfolk in Jamestown have resolved to march to the Jubilee House next Monday. According to them, the ban won't favor them and will eventually have a negative effect on their livelihood.
Now, the government banned fishing activities effective Tuesday, August 7 to September 4 this year. City Newsroom's Philip Ni Latte has more in this report.
A number of fisher folk with red bands tied to their wrists and foreheads have marched up here at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour to register their displeasure against the ban on fishing activities effective next month. The angry fisher folk believe that marching to the Jubilee House to meet the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the best option. Some of the angry fisher folk spoke to City Newsroom.
Oh no, she no okay. What kind of kind of mind there? President there. What now? Wow. What you want? What will be? Go walk with you. What be your aggression? One partner will fight. What can I be? Edge quiet. Edumumi. Into the lava. What you want? Omita makena na ke ba no ke na form your boade mbani na mpa me ke mami me anga ko shoda August mi June July August September October fe bia na no no kaka ho ete to go be ete beni bebe ya no wona ka ni wona ko ekodan no wu me ka wa me nyomoji ba fine ba fine jubilee
Convener of the Friends of the Artisanal Fishermen, Ni Neti Neti, says the Fisheries Ministry should rather focus on implementing the findings of a committee report that reveals what is causing fish stock in the country to dwindle.
We therefore call on the Minister, Elizabeth Afolikwe, and for that matter, government, to call off the close season and properly engage fishermen in addressing the challenges that faces the industry. Do wide consultation to seek the support of all fisher folks of all the landing beaches from the Volta region to the Western region in the quest to seeking sustainable solution to the dwindling fish stock in our waters. We will join hands with all the landing beaches in Ghana with any decision they take legally in against this ill-prepared policy of implementation by the fisheries industry.
For Citi News, Philip Nilate, reporting from Jamestown.
A convener of the Friends of the Artisanal Fishermen, Ni Neti, has joined us to further discuss their grievances. Ni, welcome to the Citi Newsroom. It appears to be a simple directive. We have challenges with the fishing stock. We need to allow them to grow so that we can fish more and your livelihood is protected. This is simple, isn't it?
Very well, very well. It is very simple. But what we are saying is that there are challenges facing the fisheries industry already. And we think that those challenges should be phased out first. What it is that when all these things started, it was first commissioned by the Fisheries Ministry. What they did was that 4 months to today, they instituted a commission to go around the landing beaches to seek for some information before they do that. But when they came, in fact, there was one chief fisherman who was part of the committee. They went around to solicit ideas how to go about this ban. Now, when the report was submitted to the minister, what the minister did was that she, in fact, abandoned the commission's report, the committee's report, and went ahead to implement the ban. There are a number of factors that are affecting the fishing industry, especially there are 4 factors. There are the activities of the trawlers, there are the activities of high light intensity fishing. Then there is also the use of obnoxious chemicals and dynamite. Then there are also illegal smuggling into their nets, small net sizes and monofilament nets. All these practices are killing the fish stock in our waters. In fact, we are in principle supporting the close season. But what is happening is that over 1 month, are you telling me that all these factors, if they are not dealt with, are we going to have a sustainable close season? Because if we go back to fishing and all these practices continue, are we going to have the fish stocks regenerating in our fishes? No, it will not. So what we are telling the Fisheries Ministry and then the Commission is that, look, first of all, what they need to do is to ban the activities of the trawlers, because the trawlers are supposed to go 30 nautical miles beyond the shore. But they are fishing below the 30 nautical miles. And these are destroying the life of the pelagics. You know, the pelagics are the sardines, the small fishes that the artisanal fishermen go for. This is killing our waters. We are saying that formerly there were about 125 trawlers in our waters, our exclusive economic waters. Now it has been reduced to 64. It means that they are destroying our waters, and we need to phase them out. Now we are saying that we cannot phase them out completely. But we are saying that before the ban is enforced or the close season is enforced, what they should do is that ban the activities of those the trawlers first for 2 years. Because it was done in China. What they did was in China, they banned all the activities of the trawlers. They moved them away, and all the Chinese vessels move towards West Africa. And that is the devastation they have caused our seas.
What action will you take if they refuse to put off this ban?
Now, it is imperative on the minister to do what is important, what is in the interest of the livelihood of the fishermen, because they don't have anything else apart from the fishing. They go, they survive on what they are catch. It will interest you to know that 80% of Ghana's catch over the year, averagely we have about 300,000 metric tons. 70% is brought to shore by these artisanal fish farmers. You and I will suffer if they go on 1 month ban. Now, we are telling the government that they should look at it and rescind that decision. If they don't, you heard them speak, and they will do what they say.
You go naked and hit the streets.
Very well.
Thank you very much, Nete, joining me with those details. And that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom. My name is Evan Kai Loko.
And I am Umaru Sanda Amado.
Thank you so much for your time. Good night.